Hello and welcome to Scr1tno Knitting Project Podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK. This is episode 10 and it's Sunday the 10th of March 2019. Welcome. I'm battling a few things this morning. To nick the weather segment from Amy Florence of the Scr1tno podcast, I was going with our weather today. It is really windy, like insanely windy, so you can hear the scaffolding. Our next door neighbour has got plastic wrapped around his scaffolding and you can hear that. It's banging my door to my craft room, so I've had to open that, which almost guarantees you'll get visits from my cats at some point. And I'm battling the light because it's either super bright because the sun has come out, or it's super dark because it's cloudy, because there are literally clouds across the sky today. It's some interesting weather, so I'm hoping that none of this is going to affect what happens today and that you'll all be able to see me okay. Okay, so let's get into it. If you are a new viewer, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. This is a podcast about my knitting project, which is my way of dealing with my whips. And basically I have a 6-day rolling rotation where I do a different project each day and work on it, and eventually I do get through them. So let's head straight into it. I'm going to go straight into day one. So day one is socks, and I haven't had an awful lot of sock knitting this week, but what I have done is living in my Forest Animals busy pottering bag, and it is my Waiting for Henry sock, which are my Christmas socks, and it's a pattern by Tabitha Gandee of the Hey Sister podcast, who have just put an episode out actually, so if they're definitely worth a watch. So this is her pattern, and I've used a yarn set from the lovely Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and this is called To All a Good Night, and it came with a main red and two little minis of the green and the yellow. So as Tabitha's pattern called for 3 colours, I thought it was a perfect pattern to use, and I kind of felt that these looked a little bit like Christmas trees. So these are going to go for my Christmas socks, and my view with my Christmas socks is I would like a pair for every day in December. I'm only on pair 9, this is pair 10, so it's all the 10s today. I think that might be the episode title. So this is pair 10, and I love it. And this base, it's Kay's Hardwick base with some stellina in it. It's so soft and squidgy, it's lovely. So yeah, I managed to finish the sock. So that's sock 1 done. Super happy with that, love it, think it's very Christmassy. And it's very sparkly, but I don't know whether, I mean with the light I've got today, goodness only knows what you can see, to be fair. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but it is sparkling. So the black blew out. So, yeah. So that's my sock that I worked on. And I'm doing that on 3mm needles and 2.5mm needles. I'm using 3mm needles for the colour work and 2.5mm needles for everything else. And I've tried them on and they fit really well, so I'm really pleased I did that. I've also got another sock whip, bear with me. There it is. And that is in my busy pottering sweetie bag. I have actually got a lot of sock whips. These are the only 2 I've worked on this week. And this one is my... It's not much more progress than last week. My rainbow roller socks. I've done a little bit more. These are just my grab and go if I can't take out what I'm working on project. So not too much on that this week. And that's in a rainbow ball by by Woolly Goodness. I got completely distracted then by the fact that it had gone really dark. I forgot what I was saying. It is a rainbow ball by Woolly Goodness yarn. Love it. So not a huge amount done on those. getting there slowly but surely. I have actually done, probably should show, I have actually done the first sock in those, so I'm hoping to get that one done fairly rapidly. What I need to do is stop casting socks on and get some of the ones that I've got on the needle off the needle. So that is my goal now. I'm fixed on, I've got these two, I've got my scrappy socks I showed last week, and I've got a pair of MCN ones that I started, but they're going to go into this rotation when I've got this one finished. And Dragon Hill Studio I cast on as well, so I need to get those all done. I need to be more strict with myself. So at the moment it's my Christmas socks, they're getting the love at the minute. I want to get them finished, primarily because I've got loads and loads of other Christmas yarn I want to cast on, so I want to get those done. So yeah, that's my day one. So that was socks, and that actually fell on, when did that fall? That fell on Friday, but yesterday was my Duster Snow Wrap, and yesterday I was out where I could knit socks. I couldn't take my Duster Snow Wrap with me, so I swapped the days over. So what would have been Friday sock day was actually Friday Duster Snow Wrap day, just because I wasn't going out, so I could do that in the house. But I went out yesterday and I could take socks with me, so I swapped the days over. I don't know whether you saw that, but that was my cat appearing behind me. It's definitely going to be one of those podcasts, folks. Right, we could be about to have a guest appearance. Come here. Oh. Look. Wait, I know you can see what's down there. Look, can you see yourself in the camera? Thank you. Bobby on the nose. This is Demi. She's nearly a year old. She's tiny, absolutely tiny, but we love her. She's our perpetual kitten, aren't you? Right, you're going to just cause merry hell now, aren't you? If you saw the Ollie and Bella podcast, which again, if you haven't seen it, go check her out. She's lovely, I adore her, but she had cat interruptions, so it's obviously the week to have cat interruptions. No. Bless. So day two was my Duster Snow Wrap, which is in my Jules of So Sweet Violet, her bag, which I love. It's a Christmas bag. I need to put it away, but I will do when I put my Duster Snow. I've finished my Duster Snow Wrap. Until that, then I love it. I love the combination. And this is the Duster Snow Wrap by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. And I am using my minis from my advent calendar that I had from Hedgerow Yarns. And I've nearly finished my second ball of mohair, so I'm at 70%, and that's all I've got left. So I think I did right when I went and bought another skein of mohair. With my tension, I needed 3 skeins, so I think I would have been panicking had I not bought that. So that's my mohair, and then this is my wrap, and it's all tangled, but it's so pretty. I loved this section. This is what I've done. So wherever the stitch marker is, it's one of the ends, because I remember thinking that's probably not a helpful place to have it. Where are you, stitch marker? There you are. So that's my stitch marker. That's where I last showed you, and that stitch marker is a Craft House Magic one, I believe. And then this is how much I did. So I think there's 2 colour repeats pretty much in that, which I only had half a day to work on it, so it didn't have a huge amount of time. It's quite good progress. I was quite pleased with that, and I think I'm on 70% now, something like that. It's that's the little mini I'm using at the moment. It's really pretty. It's really pretty pink, and it gets so tangly because it's so big. If I can get it to stay on the needles, that would be good. I don't want it going off, and I use 4.5mm licky needles, and this is how it's looking. Now I have loads of ends that I'm going to need to sew in at some point, but that doesn't bother me. I don't mind sewing in ends, especially now. Ellie of Craft House Magic showed how she sewed her ends in. I don't know what it's on, so I can't link it. So Ellie, if you're watching, and you can put a comment down below where you showed how you sewed your ends in. Ever since I've seen that, that's the way I've done mine, and I love it. And it's completely revolutionised me sewing in ends, because I actually really enjoy doing it now. I love it. So thank you for showing that, Ellie. That was brilliant. So yeah, this is the wrap. I love that purple section there. That's one of my favourite sections. And that pink. And the thing with the mohair is it does tone it down a bit. So if you've got a super bright mini skein coming up and you're like, oh, I'm not too sure about that, it doesn't matter, because the mohair does tone it down. Now my lovely friend Kelly, bless her little cotton socks, tried to give me a lovely compliment during the week, saying that I put the colours together well. I really don't. I let other people do that. If somebody does a fade kit, I will buy it, because I know that the colours go together, and I haven't put the colours together for this. This is literally how the numbers have come out of the advent calendar. So section 18 in the pattern is number 18 from the advent calendar. But I mean, that has come out super pretty. I love it. It's come out so well. I cannot wait to have this. Although, as I said, I think blocking it is going to be a complete nightmare, because I just have not got enough space unless I put it up my hall carpet, which that's not going to be practical. I have no idea how I'm going to block this. I think I might have to block it. Well, I was going to say I'd have to block it in halves, but actually I think it's thirds, because it's so long. I don't think any of my tables are long enough. Unless we get some nice weather and I can block it outside, which is a possibility. You never know, we might get some good weather now. So that's my duster snow wrap, and I absolutely adore working on it. It is coming to its end, and I am going to be sad to see it finish, because I have really loved it. It's been such a fun thing, and I'm really hoping that Jane's going to do another advent calendar this year, because I'll definitely get one if she does. So that's my day 2, my duster snow wrap. So day 3 is garment day, and at the moment it is living in my giant bag from Busy Pottering. It's huge, but then I've got a lot of yarn in here. I've got all the yarn for this project in here, and obviously the project itself. And I am making a Pinguono by Stephen West, and I have made some progress on this week. Now, I was very lucky, because my friend Jenny from Woolly Goodness Yarns, when I said I was running out of the colour, right, there we are, the colour for the front, that's all I had left, very kindly gifted me another skein. Thank you very much, Jenny. So I now have that. So I'm using what's the remaining of that bit held together with that one, because I'm using 3 bits held together, 3 strands hand bits. It's technical, isn't it? 3 strands held together. There we go. So I've got one of each of the yarn and the mohair. So until that runs out, I'm holding it with the other 2, and then when that runs out, I'll fish out the middle of the ball and go from the middle of the ball as well. But this is how far I've got. Again, I'm using Licky needles. These are 6.5mm Licky needles, and again, it's a big tangle, because it's quite a big project now. So I have done from, bear with, why is it whenever you do something, the yarn is always not in the side you want it to be on? So that is where I finished, which is at the end of that pink session. So I did all of that, which is basically going up the front, and then added that onto the front. And today is garment day today, so, and it's just literally going backwards and forwards in garter stitch. So I've just noticed I have a hole. I'm going to have to drop down and pick that up. I shall fix that later. It's just going backwards and forwards in garter stitch, so I should be able to manage that whilst editing the podcast. I should get some of this done. It'd be really great if I could get the front done today. That would be cool, because the front looks like that, and I'm on all this bit up here at the moment. So it would be cool if I could get the front done. So yeah, that would be kind of my goal by the end of today. I do try and set myself some goals during the day of where I'm going to finish, but it doesn't always happen because real life does sometimes get in the way. So yeah, that's my Scr1tno. That's the back, and then that's the side, that's the front. This must just look such a mess, to be fair. And then I'm going up the other front now. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I'm looking forward to it being done. It's good old Mohair, which thank you to the person who made a comment today about putting the project in the freezer before I work on it. I might try that. Obviously can't try it today because I want to work on it, but I might try that with my Duster Snow Wrap and just see if that does help it. I'm really hoping that it's not going to affect me once I've finished working on them, because I'm hoping it's just because I'm kind of loosening the fibres by pulling it, and we will see. Oh dear, never mind. So yeah, that's day, what day is it? Day 3, garment day. That's my garment. And I've got a queue of garments in my head now. So I would like to get this one done sometime in the not too far distant future, because I've got so many that I want to knit, and so many I have yarn for. I have so many sweater quantities of yarn now. I've gone from last year not having any to this year having 4 or 5 and thinking, oh, I really ought to start knitting these up. So as soon as that one's finished, I shall get on with that. So yeah, that's day 3, garment day. So day 4 is my corner to corner blanket, which is living also in a busy pottering bag. This is a travel one that she gifted me for Christmas. I absolutely adore it. I'm sorry if you can hear the wind. It's really going for it at the moment. Right, so with my corner to corner blanket, I might end up swapping this out to every other week in the project, or every other rotation in the project, because I'm working on a pair of mitts from my friend Kelly, and that at the moment is alternating with my mystery blanket squares and isn't gonna get anything done on it, I don't think. So I'll explain why in the mystery blanket section. So I may start doing this every other week. So anyway, this is my corner to corner blanket. I did work on it this week. First of all, this is the magic knot ball. So pretty. And these are minis that Kelly gifted me, which she had left over from things that she did. It's not her yarn, it's just other ones that she had left over. And she gifted me the leftovers because I said I could put them in a magic knot ball. And in doing so, this is what's happening. I have no idea what any of the yarns are, unfortunately. And here we go. So this is what I've done. These rows are getting super long now. That's where I was. I was on that blue row there, so I've done 2 rows. Which, to be fair, this was on the day that I do guides, so I don't get much crafting time that day anyway. So yeah, just finished the grey stripe, which went into the blue stripe, which then went into this really pretty variegated stripe, which I really like. That is so pretty, and I love how this is coming out at the moment. It's sort of coming out with duller colours and then brighter colours, which that's an accident. That was not intended. That's just the way all I did when I made my magic knot ball was put colours together. So I put the reds together, put the blues together, put the purples together. I say I did that. I didn't actually. My youngest daughter did it for me, because she's really good with colours, absolutely amazing with colours. And I said to her, can you just line those up so that if I make it into a giant ball, they come out really nicely? And that's exactly what she's done, and so far she's nailed it. So yeah, that's my magic knot ball. So I've got quite a lot. and I love it. I love doing this, but as I said, I think I might start rotating it. Otherwise, although these mitts, there is no hurry for these mitts at the rate I'm going. It could be this time next year before I get them finished. So I want to put them in a little bit more love on them than that. So that's day 4. That's my corner to corner blanket. So day 5 is my mystery blanket day, and I'm doing the mystery blanket by Debbie Abrahams. It's a club that she does, and it's an annual club, and I've done most of them. I think I've only missed a couple. And this year's, she's completely nailed it. I absolutely adore the colour scheme and the yarn that she's using. Now, because other people will be knitting along with it and I don't want to spoil anybody, I'm going to show my squares, but on the first podcast of the following month. So this month's squares I'm working on, I will show in April. So I've got nothing to show you for this segment. And also, the squares are slightly complicated. I had a very beautiful Fair Isle square, which I love Fair Isle knitting. I love colourwork knitting. It's probably my favourite type of knitting. I want to get to knit a colourwork yoke sweater. That's one of the things I want to get to once I've got my Penguono done. So I love doing colourwork, and it is just so pretty, but it takes a little while. Now, I did manage to do the whole of the colourwork square in the day. It's allotted day. I'm just trying to work out what day it was. When was my mystery blanket day this week? Bear with, I'm just going to check my notes. I will be back. Right, so it was Wednesday. Now Wednesday I work, so I finish at 4. So I prepped it all before I went to work. So I made sure I got all the yarn sorted, made sure I'd got all the colours, and I'd put the chart into I use Knit Companion, the Knit Companion app, which is really brilliant. I would recommend it if you like using charts on your devices. It's brilliant because it saves where you are, and it's got lines that you can put, and it's just revolutionised me using charts, which is great. So I set all that up in the morning, and then when I got home from work at 4, I knit on it, and I didn't do anything else Wednesday night. In fact, I'm fairly certain one of the girls cooked me tea Wednesday night as well, so I didn't even have to cook. So I just worked on it, and I got it all completely finished. I did have a bit of a late night for me. I think I finished about 10:30. I normally go to bed about 10. But I didn't get the ends sewn in, so I did sew in the ends the following morning. That's the only thing different I carried over. But it is going to take me a good day. So I think I've got 5 squares this month to do. And there's only 5 rotations this month, so I'm gonna not have time to do the mitts, was my point to that. So I'm going to start swapping the mitts in with the corner to corner blanket day. That's where they're going. Right, so that's day 5, is my mystery blanket day. I'm sorry I've got nothing to show for it, but I would really like just to wait and do them all in April, just in case. I don't want anybody to be spoilt. So yeah, that's day 5 mystery blanket. So day 6 is my scrappy project day. Again, it's another busy pottering bag. I love this bag. Woodland animals. Oh, it's so pretty. And my scrappy projects also have a little bit of a rotation, and this time round it was the turn of my Bits and Bobs blanket, which is another pattern by the lovely Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and it's super squishy, it's super fun, I'm super addicted to it, and to be fair, it's probably all I really want to knit. But here we go. This is my Bits and Bobs blanket. I have a feeling, yep, the progress keeper is on that side. So that's my, where is it? I've lost it. Where did my progress keeper go? Bear with me. I have lost my progress keeper. I saw it. I need a different colour progress keeper because, to be honest, it's quite well camouflaged on this. So that's my progress keeper. That is a Little Happy Sloth by Hannah of Corner of Craft. And that's how much progress. So I did quite a bit because this is very long. It doesn't look it because it's on quite a short cable, but it's very long. I think I cast on 200 or 199 because it had to be an odd number. Just because I had a lot of tail left on my long tail cast on. So I kept going. until I got to 199, and then I was like, no, I'm done. I'll cut the rest off. So yeah, this is my bits and bobs blanket, and this is a very popular pattern at the moment. Lots of people seem to be knitting it. I know the Crafty Toads are, and theirs are really pretty too. Yeah, so that's it. Absolutely adore it. And this is a magic knot ball. There's not much of it left now, which was my advent minis from Lay Family Yarn. That's what I had left over. I'd put them in my Cozy Memory blanket, and I made a scrappy pair of socks out of them, and then I had this left over. So yeah, and then I'm holding it together with a commercial yarn, which is a, I call it sheepies, I know that's not how you pronounce it, wow. And this is melting macaroon, which I think is really pretty. And there we go. So you can see the label. I'm really bad about showing labels. That's the details. Yeah, which I think is really pretty and perfect for the background colour, and you can see at the bottom, can you see it's blue? Yes, you can see it's blue at the bottom. That was a mini I had left over from another project I'd made of that, so I started in that. So the theory is I've started in the blue and I'll end in the blue. I'm thinking I'll probably end it when I finish this, and that'll be the size of it, but I have bought a couple more of these, either to add to this or to make more, because I really like this colour as the background colour in these. And I don't think you can ever have too many blankets. B, I have 3 daughters who steal blankets, and C, I think every car should have a blanket in it as well. So I'm all about the blankets. I love it. So yeah, that's my bits and bobs. And do you know what, if I only ever had to work on one project, I'd probably be content doing this one forever. But that possibly in my Dust of Snow wrap. I want to do another Dust of Snow wrap next time without mohair, because I think that would be really pretty, but that mohair is driving me nuts. So yeah, that's day 6. That's my scrappy project, and as I said, it's a lovely pattern by the wonderful Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. Bits and bobs blanket. So the only other thing I worked on is that I do a square on my Cozy Memories blanket each morning, and that's this morning's mini. I think that's Yarn Lab from her 12 Days of Christmas. She's really pretty. And this is this week's squares. I have to confess, I have no idea who the minis are from this week. It's a mixture of a Lay Family Yarn 12 Days of Christmas, a Yarn Lab 12 Days of Christmas, and possibly one other, but I can't remember what the other was. My daughter did it for me for Christmas, and I can't remember what they are. But these are this week's squares. That one, which I need to fix. I've got a hole. I've just seen that. Today, I'm either going to call today's episode All the Tens or All the Holes. But yeah, I've just noticed that. Look, I'll have to fix that. What happened there? How odd. Looks like I've managed to knit two together there for somehow. I don't know how I've done that. Oh, that one. That was lovely. That was such a lovely base. It was really sort of squishy. And then that's a sparkle. I've put that to one side. I'm not putting that in a magic knot ball because I've got enough left for some heels and toes, because that was a 20 gram. And then there was, I thought I had some on another side. I did. I had those 2 that squared off, which is that one. Pretty green. And then that one. So yeah, so that's my squares for this week, and it is growing. All the different colours. Definitely growing. I haven't actually missed a day. I may have done 2 in one day a couple of times, but I have the same number of days as there are days since the 1st of January in here. There's a couple of times when I've done 2 in one day because I didn't get it done the day before. There's also a couple of times where, because I do it in bed in the morning, I've gone to bed and it's still sitting on the bed halfway through a square and I'm like, didn't finish that this morning. And I've done it a couple of times before I've gone to sleep, but not often. So I need to do today's, which I will do whilst I'm editing the podcast, because that's quite a good thing to do, and fix that square. That's I'm going to try and find the yarn that goes with that and maybe just sew it up. How annoying. So yeah, so that's my, oh, and I should probably say that's also a busy project bag. I'll tell you why I'm going to mention this. I know that she has got this fabric going into her update tonight. So Busy Pottering, I will link her in the show notes. She has an Etsy shop and she is putting this fabric into her update tonight. So today is Sunday the 10th of March. I'm hoping I will get this out today, depending on what YouTube's doing, because apparently it's really mucking about at the moment. So excuse me. Yeah, so she's updating tonight at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Sunday the 10th of March 2019. She's doing an update and there is definitely some of these bags going in. So if you would like a really pretty seaside bag that's perfect for the summer months, go check out her update tonight. She's also got some really cute puffing bags, and which I might be buying, and some sort of seaside ones with words on. They're really lovely. She sent me some photos during the week. They're really pretty. So yeah, that's tonight, her update. So if you want one, go check her out this evening. So yeah, that's my cozy memory blanket. So I have a little bit of happy mail. Not all of this came this week. Some of it came last week, but because I did the clubs, I didn't show it. So let's start with, this is a new to me dyer, and she is in Germany, I think. I will link her in the show notes. Now, just to say, my show notes are in the drop down bar at the bottom of the video. You can see there's a little triangle. If you press on it, you should get all my show notes in the bottom of that. And yeah, this is Spring, which I think is just so pretty. I'm hoping my lighting is doing it justice. It's such a little pretty little shade of aqua green, and it's got these gorgeous pops of colour, and it's come with this little stitch marker as well. Absolutely love it. And same maker, Bumpy Yarns. This is Candy Floss. Again, it's got came with a little stitch marker, and those speckles, so pretty. So I really like that. And this is what is this? Believe it or not, this is a 75-25, but it's a soft, I don't know what base she uses. Is that 75-25 too? Yeah, they both are. It's as soft as an MCN. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad I've been able to show this on the podcast this week, because I want to actually start knitting with them. Although I'm not allowed to start knitting socks. Mind you, wouldn't that make a beautiful shawl? Wow. Oh, I don't know what to do with them now. Well, I can't cast them on yet anyway, because I haven't finished anything, so we'll worry about that another time. Next up was my Giddy Yarns Cupcake Club turned up earlier on this week, and I'd ordered a couple of other skeins with it, so I'm not showing the Cupcake Club because that's this month's club, but these are the Giddy Yarns skeins that came with it. I'm having a pink week. Last week was blue, this week is pink. Yeah, I know the top one's blue, isn't it? So that is 11. That's the name of the colourway, and that's a 75 superwash blue faced Leicester nylon, which is lovely. I love how it's got the blue and the pink together. And then this one is Let Me Count the Ways, which I think might have been her Valentine colour. That's really pretty. I love that. They're almost purpley speckles on the pink background. That was really pretty. So that was Giddy Yarns. The other one I got, these arrived a couple of weeks ago. I just haven't got around to showing them on the podcast yet. And these are from Elm Tree Yarns. And these are mini sets. And I can't remember what they were called, which is really bad of me. That's mini sets. And she's got a shop on Etsy. Again, I will link it in the show notes. Sorry about the crinkling, but I'm not taking these out because they look so pretty in their plastic. These are probably going to be scrappy socks. These are probably going to be heels, toes and cuffs. I love them both. So pretty. And last but not least, the lovely Ellie of Craft House Magic had an update this week, and she had sheep. And I love sheep. Sheep in any shape or form. And these in particular, this is a scissor holder, and I get the filled ones. So it comes with a lovely pair of scissors, a little sewing up needle, and some bulb stitch markers. And I just find them so handy to throw in project bags, so you've always got it all in one place. And I tend to put it in my major project bags. My I think it's my Dust of Snow has got my other set in, so this is my second set. I love that. And then also I loved this. This is The Way You Make Me Feel, and it's 75 25% stellina, and that's merino nylon. And I'll be honest, I bought this to make into minis for heels, toes and cuffs for me, and to keep for to put some in for a swap. Well, for my, I'm going to do some yarn advents for some friends of mine, and I wanted to, I thought it'd be perfect to go into that as well. But yeah, this is definitely going to be, I just love the fact it's sparkle. And I've got quite a few Christmas colourways that are very busy but are of the blue theme. And I thought this would be perfect for the heels. The heels at least, maybe toes as well. But heels definitely. So yeah, really pleased with that, love that. So that's my mail this week. Yeah, there is a bit more, but that, as I said, is because the stuff from Germany and my Elm Tree Yarn ones turned up, and then it was the week where I showed my clubs, so I had a bit of a backlog. That's a side effect I didn't think of when I said, oh, I'm going to do the clubs on the first one of each month. Yeah, don't order yarn as well. Otherwise you're going to end up with loads to show on the following week. Not good. So yeah, that's all I've got purchase wise this week. Oh, that's enough. So I'm going to do a what I'm wearing again, because I've popped another jumper on from ages ago. This is another probably 2005 to 2007 jumper. If I sit back a bit you can see it. I'll stand up. This is also from the Summer Tweed collection book that I spoke about last week, but rather than being in the Summer Tweed, this is in the All Seasons Cotton, which was totally interchangeable, and I love the All Seasons Cotton. It's cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and this pattern is the, she says, looking, this is Hunter. It's got a little drop stitch detail, so it's perfect. I'm wearing it over a dress, to sling over a dress. Again, it was a pieced pattern, and I don't know whether you can see anything if I turn around. It's a pieced pattern. This one had set-in sleeves, it wasn't a raglan. Slightly drop sleeves on me. Yeah, and the pattern's by Kim Hargreaves again. I really need to find that book, because I'm thinking I want to knit these again. I love it. This is so nice, and of course because it's an Aran weight, pretty much. It's not quite. It's probably worsted, to be fair. If there was a description for it, it's probably worsted. I would love to do so many of these and such. So all the yarn that we've got now. Let's sit again because I'm just a talking body, talking boobs. I really like the neck on this as well. It's such a lovely fit, and I've just ordered. Sadly, the Wool and Homestead are not dying anymore for a little while because they're having some major life changes, which is lovely for them. They're buying their first home, which is so exciting. So I totally understand. But I managed to get some worsted, of some of their worsted in their update, so I am thinking I might do something from this book whether it's this or whether it's the rose hip, because this is quite long, whereas the rose hip's slightly more cropped, which is not a good look on me, but that's a little bit, it's shaped cropped, it's fine, it's not so bad. Doesn't use as much yarn, so I'm thinking I might do that. So I need to find the book, which I know where it is, I just need to get to it. It's one of those, it's behind on a shelf, it's up high. Yeah, I will get to it eventually. So yes, that's what I'm wearing. I love it, I love the colour, everything about it. That's what I'm wearing this week. Right, so I'm really sorry if the angle's changed. My camera battery just died, which bearing in mind that I'm on the my week section and I've got about 3 minutes left. Isn't it always the way? So yeah, I've got nothing really much more to say other than my week. My week's been interesting. It's been work, it's been guiding. We did backpacking with our guides yesterday at a local supermarket, and everybody was super generous. The girls made so much money, bless them, they're so happy. That was fun, that was it. And we split it between the leaders, so I did mine with my daughter in the morning. So we'd finished by 1, which meant I could work on my socks yesterday afternoon, hence I got my socks finished. So did that, went to the opticians, and mainly because I wear reading glasses for close-up work, but if I look up I can't see. And you know what it's like when you're knitting, you look down, you look up to watch the telly. I'm getting to the stage where I'm having to take my glasses on, put my glasses off, and I'm also getting to the stage where I'm choosing what I'm working on because I want to watch telly and I don't want to be looking at a chart and a pattern. And I was like, this isn't really working for me. So I was like, I really do need to go to the opticians. So I went to the opticians, and yes, lo and behold, I need stronger reading glasses, and now I need distance glasses as well. So that's all happening. I've chosen some new frames that are very like my old frames because I'm a creature of habit. Now I'll just have to get used to wearing glasses all the time rather than just part of the time. Might be quite useful when I'm podcasting though, because I might actually be able to see it without going like that. Sorry, that was a real scary close-up of my face there, wasn't it? So yes, I went to the opticians. Yeah, so been to the opticians, getting new glasses, it's quite exciting. Don't get them for a couple of weeks, but we'll have them, that's great. Sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat this morning. The kids are all fine. My eldest is suffering this morning, she has a hangover. Oh, kids, when you've got grown-up kids, it's quite amusing to watch them suffer. So yes, sorry Katie if you're watching this, you haven't got a very sympathetic mummy, not when you have a hangover. But bless her, she's hungover this morning. Otherwise they're all fine, bless their little cotton socks. The only other thing I've done is I finished, having written my show notes in it, I finished this journal today. So I have just set up my new one, and this is a rabbit hole I went down last week, which is basically bullet journaling. I bought a really brilliant book called How to Bullet Journal, which I linked in last week's show notes. If you want to see more about that, look in last week's podcast. But because I've started a new book, I needed to put my new yearlies up, so I've had to do that. Now it seems like a bit of a faff transferring them each time you transfer a new book. So I've only got narrow books and I write quite a lot in them, but there are some advantages. In fact, there's quite a few advantages. Firstly, you can play around with new layouts if you want to. Secondly, you can perfect the layouts that you've done. And thirdly, it does kind of, when you're writing it down over and over again, it does make you think, oh, actually, I do know I've got something going on that date because I've written it down. So I'm not too concerned about having to write it down. Now, each time I swap one of these books, if the month is finished, I won't transfer that month over. So this one starts in March. I haven't got January and February in here. Now, I'm hoping this will last me all of March. I'm hoping it lasts me all of March and most of April too, but hey, if it doesn't, then I'll put from April onwards and go that way. So I've transferred everything across, and already it is actually making me slightly more efficient. There is, my daughter asked me to run an errand for her, which I know darn well I would have forgotten if I hadn't already written it down. So on a Sunday, once I have finished recording the podcast, and while I'm editing the podcast, I am going to set up my weekly pages for the following week. And I love it. It is definitely making me more efficient. I do like, I mean, everything's digital these days, and I have got things in my digital diary, to be fair, which, because it's great if you can just grab it and look at it and go, yeah, no, I am actually busy that day. But I like writing down, and I like having a physical copy to carry around with me. That's why I use quite small books, just because they're easier to carry around and more lightly. Do you know what? They also fit in project bags. That's been quite handy a couple of times this week. I've just grabbed my project bag, thrown in my phone, thrown in my book, thrown in a pen. Mental note, make sure you throw in a pen with a lid on it. Done that before. No, it doesn't end well. Yes, I've thrown in the phone, thrown in my bag, my book, thrown in my purse, and off I've gone. And used my project bag as my handbag. I need to get out of that habit. There's a reason I need to get out of that habit. I have lost some money out of my purse, and I know darn well I grabbed the cash out, threw it in one of my project bags, and took the project bag outside. So in one of these project bags I'm going to find some cash at some point. That'll be a nice surprise when I do. Perhaps not the best way to live your life. Oh dear, I'm such a melon. Okay, on that note, I hope you all have a really good week. I will see you next week. Take care.